two tanks, born 1 year apart on the same side of the Cold War. One is an American war machine powered by a jet engine, a turbine monster that drinks fuel like a fighter jet and shrugs off direct hits. The other is Germany's masterpiece, the most trusted main battle tank in the Western world. They were built to fight the same enemy, but they have never fought each other. This is the M1 Abrams versus the Leopard 2, the two greatest tanks of the modern age. 5 rounds, one final verdict. And the winner is not what most people expect. Here's the twist most people don't know. These two tanks are brothers. In the 1960s, America and Germany tried to build a super tank together, a joint project called the MBT-70. It was too ambitious, too complicated, and too expensive, and it collapsed. But both nations walked away from the wreckage with everything they had learned. Germany used it to build the Leopard 2, which entered service in 1979. America used it to build the M1 Abrams, which arrived just 1 year later. Same enemy, same lessons, two completely different answers. Germany bet on precision engineering and a mighty diesel heart. America bet on radical ideas. A gas turbine engine borrowed from the world of aviation, and later, armor and ammunition made from one of the densest metals on Earth, depleted uranium. Even their names tell the story. The Abrams honors a hard-charging American general, while the Leopard carries on Germany's long dynasty of big cats, the descendants of the Panthers and Tigers of the Second World War. Since then, more than 10,000 Abrams have been built, while the Leopard 2 became the standard tank of Europe, serving in the armies of roughly 20 nations. One is a heavyweight built for global war. The other is the backbone of an entire continent's defense. So let's settle it the only fair way there is. 5 rounds, head-to-head, one final verdict. Round 1, firepower. And here's the beautiful irony. They fire the same family of gun. The Leopard 2 carries Rheinmetall's legendary 120mm smoothbore, and the Abrams uses a licensed American version of that very same German gun. But the family split. Modern Leopards upgraded to the L55, a barrel more than a meter longer, spitting rounds out at higher velocity for more punch at long range, and firing programmable shells that can burst over trenches or behind cover. The Abrams kept the shorter gun, but loads it with something no Leopard will ever fire, the M829, a depleted uranium dart nicknamed the Silver Bullet. Uranium is so dense that the round sharpens itself as it burrows through enemy armor, then erupts in fire on the other side. Germany refuses to use uranium ammunition and fields excellent tungsten rounds instead. But even the Bundeswehr's own tankers respect what the Silver Bullet does to a target. Both tanks aim with world-class thermal sights that turn night into day. Both stabilize their guns so perfectly they can hit a moving target while racing across broken ground at full speed. And in both, the commander can already be hunting the next victim while the gunner destroys the first. So round 1 ends in a split decision. The Leopard wins the gun. The Abrams wins the ammunition. Round 2, armor and survivability. This is where the Abrams becomes a legend. Beneath its angular skin sit layers of composite armor, and in the later models, a mesh of depleted uranium, the same ultra-dense metal as its ammunition, making the Abrams one of the most heavily protected vehicles ever built. All that protection is why both of these giants now push 70 tons, heavier than any tank of the Second World War, heavier than most bridges in the world were ever designed to carry. But the real genius is where the ammunition lives. Every main gun round sits behind heavy blast doors in a compartment with blowout panels in the roof. If the ammo is ever hit, the explosion vents upward, away from the crew. In the Gulf War, Abrams crews survived direct hits that would have vaporized any other tank of its generation. Some even survived hits from other Abrams in the chaos of battle, and the men inside walked away. The Leopard 2 is superbly protected too, and the newest versions carry modular armor that can be swapped and upgraded in the field. But it hides a flaw. Part of its ammunition is stored in the hull, right beside the driver, without blowout protection. In Syria, older Leopards in Turkish service were caught by missiles in exactly that spot, and the results were catastrophic. Newer models have learned from it, but the scar remains on the record. Round 2 goes to the Abrams. It is built like a bank vault around its crew. Round 3, mobility. Same power, 2 philosophies. Both tanks produce 1,500 horsepower and both weigh roughly the same. But the Abrams makes its power with a gas turbine, essentially a helicopter engine in a tank. It's whisper quiet from the front. Enemies called it whispering death, because the first warning was the tank appearing out of the dust. It accelerates like nothing its size, and it can burn almost any fuel: diesel, gasoline, even jet fuel. But that turbine has a price. It is monstrously thirsty. It burns fuel even standing still, and an Abrams battalion drags an entire convoy of fuel trucks behind it everywhere it goes. The Leopard 2 uses a twin turbocharged diesel, the same power at a fraction of the thirst. It drives farther on a tank of fuel, it's cheaper to feed, easier to fix in the field, and its entire engine pack can be swapped out in well under an hour. On the road, they're nearly twins. Both top out around 70 kilometers per hour, a staggering speed for 70 tons of steel. So in a drag race, the Abrams wins. In a war that lasts weeks, the Leopard is still moving when the Abrams is waiting for fuel. Round 3 goes to the Leopard 2. Round 4, combat record. The Abrams has the most famous report card in modern armored warfare. In the Gulf War of 1991, Abrams crews tore through one of the world's largest tank armies, destroying hundreds of Iraqi tanks, often before the enemy even knew they were in range. In one legendary engagement, a handful of American tanks annihilated an entire dug-in armored brigade in less than half an hour, in the middle of a sandstorm. The number of Abrams lost to enemy tank fire in that entire war: 0. Not one. The Leopard 2 spent those same decades training for a war in Europe that never came. Its first real test arrived in Syria, where older Turkish Leopards, used without infantry cover, were ambushed by missiles, and the myth of invincibility cracked. Then came Ukraine, where both tanks now fight on the same side. Both have proven they keep their crews alive, and both have learned the same hard lesson. In a battlefield full of cheap drones and mines, no tank is untouchable. But history has already given its answer. Round 4 belongs to the Abrams, the only Western tank with an undefeated record against other tanks. Round 5, cost and numbers. And this is where the Leopard fights back. Both of these machines are brutally expensive. The latest versions cost well over $10 million each, and full export packages can push far beyond 20. But the real cost of a tank is the life it lives after you buy it. The Abrams demands a river of fuel, a heavy logistics train, and a budget only a superpower enjoys. The Leopard sips by comparison, and that's exactly why Europe standardized on it. Roughly 20 nations operate the Leopard 2, sharing spare parts, sharing training, sharing upgrades across an entire alliance. It became the common language of Western armor. America built more than 10,000 Abrams and keeps thousands more in storage, ready to wake up, an arsenal no other nation can match. But for the country actually writing the check and feeding the beast, round 5 goes to the Leopard 2, by a nose. So, after 5 rounds, a split, 2 for the Abrams, 2 for the Leopard, a dead heat. And that is the honest truth almost nobody says out loud. There is no clear winner, because they were never built for the same war. The Abrams was built for a superpower that brings its own ocean of fuel to any battlefield on Earth. The Leopard was built to defend a continent efficiently, shoulder to shoulder with its neighbors. In Ukraine, They now serve side by side, and the question itself has changed because the deadliest threat to a tank today isn't another tank. It's a drone that costs less than a used car. Both bloodlines are already evolving to answer it. Germany is rolling out the next generation of Leopard, and America is designing a leaner, meaner Abrams from the tracks up. The Abrams is a heavyweight champion. The Leopard is a precision instrument. Put them on the same battlefield, on the same side, and heaven help whatever stands in front of them. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Kinetic Intel. It's free, and it tells us to keep making these. And tell us in the comments. If you had to cross a battlefield in one of them, which would you trust with your life? The American turbine beast or the German masterpiece?